Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often misunderstood and even feared by many: the art and dark psychology of ignoring a woman. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, let me clarify. We're not talking about being cruel, manipulative, or playing childish games. What we're exploring is a very real psychological dynamic that happens in relationships, and it can reveal truths about attraction, boundaries, and emotional control that most people never talk about. I've spent years as a therapist, sitting across from men who feel confused, frustrated, and sometimes powerless when a woman pulls away or becomes distant. And I've seen a pattern, a behavior that, when done consciously and respectfully, can completely change the way she perceives you. Ignoring in this sense isn't about punishment. It's about strategy, clarity, and self-respect. It's about creating space that allows both parties to see each other more clearly without unnecessary pressure or neediness. Many will call it manipulative. I'll tell you straight, it's uncomfortable because it challenges the usual scripts. Society gives men that you must always chase, always respond, always bend to her mood. But in my experience, when men understand the psychology behind selective attention and emotional distance, relationships often gain clarity, respect, and even attraction. I've seen it transform situations where communication had broken down, where a man felt invisible, or where a woman had grown distant. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why ignoring can have a psychological impact, how it influences attraction, and the subtle power it carries when done the right way. I'll also share stories from my practice, moments that were eye-opening, controversial, and sometimes uncomfortable to witness. By the end of this, you'll understand not just how to do it, but why it works, what it reveals about human behavior, and why it might just shift the balance of respect and attention in your relationships. 1. Why ignoring works: the hidden psychology. When we talk about ignoring a woman, most people immediately assume it's about being cold, harsh, or emotionally detached. But in my years as a therapist, I've learned that ignoring isn't about cruelty. It's about understanding human behavior at a deeper level. It's about tapping into a psychological truth that many men overlook. Attention is powerful, and how you give it or withhold it shapes perception more than words ever can. I remember sitting with a man who was frustrated because he felt invisible in his relationship. He was constantly trying to please, respond, and chase after his partner, only to feel more distant with every effort. When I asked him to consider what would happen if he stopped reacting to every mood swing, if he simply created space and focused on his own life, he was skeptical. He thought ignoring would push her away. But the truth is, what often happens is the exact opposite. By not over-investing attention, by not filling every moment with validation, you give her mind space to notice, reflect, and even question her own feelings. Psychologists call this phenomenon emotional contrast. When someone is used to constant attention, and suddenly that attention is reduced, the brain experiences a subtle shift. Curiosity increases. Desire is triggered. People begin to evaluate what they might be taking for granted. This isn't magic, it's biology. I've observed it countless times in my practice in situations where men felt powerless. When they learned to create that respectful distance, the women they cared about began to approach with genuine interest, clarity, and sometimes vulnerability. Now, let me be clear, this isn't about manipulation. It's about self-respect and balance. Many men I work with confuse attention with love, or validation with value. Ignoring, when done intentionally, is a way of reclaiming your own emotional center rather than reacting to someone else's fluctuation.